Welcome to another episode of Indicate with Coach, where we talk about men for now, but we are going to get to women. But we're talking about mental health, man. If you like what we're bringing, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And share it. That's all I ask. Today, I got my cousin back, Mr. Dwayne Mullins. Dwayne, let them know how they can reach you, man.
Hey, you can always find me on Facebook at Right Way Wayne. You know what I'm saying? I got another page. I think it's Wayne Power Struggle Mullins, but it's whatever. If you want to follow me, follow me. If not, it's all gravy. I'm just here to show love because I love what Cuz is trying to do.
Appreciate
You know
it
what I
too, man.
mean? And I always got opinions though.
Yeah,
So
but we all do, man. You know,
for sure.
it's like assholes. Everybody walking
Yeah.
around with opinions.
Yes.
you know, yeah. But man, this is just the more and more I interview people, man, I realize that mental health. Everybody's affected with it in some way or another. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It might not all be bad. You know what I'm saying? But the majority of it is difficult. I say that.
Yes,
so
for sure.
so I'm just glad to have this platform, man, to be able to talk about it. For one, I want to give my guests an opportunity, but like I said before, this is therapy for me too. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because I mean, I'm dealing with it myself. So
Feel you.
so I just love to be able to sit out and just talk, man. You know what I mean?
I feel you 1,000%. I mean, I have to respect it because when we was growing up, people didn't really talk about mental health that much. The term itself, mental health, is something that I hear more and more in pop culture, so to speak. You know what I mean? But hey, man, it's real, and it was real back then, and it's real now. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways I could go with that one, but I'm just saying, as African Americans,
Right.
as black people, you know what I mean? We dealing with stuff all the time,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking about recently since the term has been popular.
Right.
Growing up we had mental health issues, and what I'm saying, things that we had to conquer, and you just had to find a way of dealing with it because at least when I was growing up, and I'm sure I can feel like I can say this for you as well, going to spend $250 to talk to somebody for an hour was just not even something that was on the radar,
No.
bro. You know what I mean? That wasn't even realistic. That was like way outside of our universe.
Financially, it wasn't even obtainable sometimes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So not just to go and just sit down and talk to somebody.
Right,
Yeah, so
right. So if it wasn't done at the barbershop, it didn't get done.
right.
So I appreciate the platform for that purpose, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all good, man. It's all good.
I'm willing to go any direction you want to go, anything you want to jump on. I'm 1,000 with it.
Right. Well, I'm gonna jump on this because I know that this is affecting a lot of people's mental health, and it's just the economy is right now and the direction is going. I know a lot of people worried whether or not they're gonna be working tomorrow, or some people are already not working, period, and are they gonna be able to? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And I know that you are up on the politics. You know what I'm saying? I already know that part. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted your spiel. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get personal. You know what I'm saying? I just want a general spiel.
I want to get personal.
Go ahead, man. Go
But
ahead.
no, I keep it. I'll just say what I gotta say. When you say people are worried about the economy, yeah, I'm gonna try to connect all this. But of course, you see the hat.
Yeah,
I got on the MAGA hat. I'm not like a diehard MAGA.
Right.
But I throw it out there.
Right.
Especially an opportunity like this one I'm about to show people because I don't really care. Let's talk. You know what I mean? So I'll spark the conversation with some of the paraphernalia. But before Trump got reelected, people was worried about whether they was gonna have a job or not anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I feel like as African Americans in the times that we in now, you got to mature.
Right.
Really, your whole political outlook, it has to mature.
Right.
Because this is not 20 years ago. Me and you, I know both of us over 50 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean? So times have changed, and we got to look at things for what they are. We got responsibilities to take care of ourselves and our family, and we trying to navigate through the society that we live in. And there are a lot of changes, and there's going to be more changes. You know what I'm saying? But you have to look at your responsibility and navigate for yourself. A lot of us have dropped the ball on that. But, you know, if you wake up tomorrow, you got another opportunity to go. You cannot depend on what these, for lack of a better term, crackers are going to do, whether you're going to talk government, you know what I'm saying, or not. You can't depend on what they're going to do. We know that everything around us is moving more and more towards you being able to get out, have your side hustle, you know what I'm saying, being an entrepreneur, trying to secure yourself, maybe in a traditional job. But we in a time of transition, you know what I'm saying? So don't let the media hype you up that, oh my God, things are going crazy and nobody don't know what's going on because of this one guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't let it affect your emotions and your mental like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just try to stay up on what's going on so you know what moves to make.
Right.
You know, I don't have all the information, but Trump had something called Liberation Day a while back where he decided he was going to throw out a lot of tariffs. The market went through the floor. You know what I'm saying? People was going crazy.
Yeah.
If you go, I think maybe 13, 15 days ago, the market is back where it was. You know what I mean? And if you turn on the news, you don't hear the anchors on certain channels talking about the market going down no more because it's not effective for them to manipulate your emotions anymore.
Right.
So they moved on to something else.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this has been something that the media has done when somebody is in office that they don't like, because what the media is doing didn't start with Trump. You know what I mean? They hated George W. Bush. They loved Obama for many reasons.
Right.
I loved Obama
Right.
for many reasons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But these white people, and I have to call them who they are, and I don't mean any disrespect because of their color,
Right.
but these are the people who control information. And I'm going to be real specific because I don't want you to think that I'm not willing to say what I'm saying.
Right.
But these white liberals, these white Democrats, you know what I'm saying? They have worked the program on our people for a long time. And it's been very valuable and profitable for them. But it hadn't been profitable for the masses. And right now they just got a situation where they got a tiger by the tail and they can't control them. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what I like about Trump. You know what I mean? The fact that she's just uncontrollable, bro. And we've been doing what we've been doing for a long time and complaining about the results.
Yeah.
So now we got somebody who's going to do things completely different, and we just going to have to ride the wave. Unfortunately or fortunately, we living through these times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what it is. You know, and I get a little emotional about it.
Yeah.
But I'm not beating the drum for Trump, not necessarily for Trump.
Right.
I'm
Just
beating
for
the
change.
drum for change.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? It just happened that he is I don't want to be disrespectful, you know what I mean?
Right.
I use the word crackers a lot because we throw around the word niggas a lot, so I like to throw around the word crackers a lot. But
Even the playing
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But people don't feel it like I feel it. They not in my world, so they might be a little offended or taken back. But he's the white man that God chose to use for the change. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So yeah, you know what I mean. I fucks with it like that, and I'm willing to talk about politics and so many other different areas because it's an emotional, mental game that has been played on black people for a long time. And I talk to people about this, but they can't cross the line with me. They will agree with me, like you shaking your head, yeah, and you may be agreeing with me, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or I might just be shaking my head.
Yeah, you might just be shaking your head, you know what I'm saying? But people will agree with me about 4 or 5 different topics, and then they can't cross the line and say, I'm going to do something different. So, it's emotional and it's mental.
It is.
But, we need to deal with it
Yeah.
because this is the world we living in right now. And say this, and I'll let you have the floor again. I'm so sorry.
No, you good.
It's about the times we living in, but at this age, it's about our children and our grandchildren.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how serious it is for me.
I got
You know what I mean? And it's hard for black people, African Americans, to think outside of themselves because we've been conditioned to be real selfish and really look at us. The selfie with us is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We don't really think about having something set aside for the next generation.
Absolutely.
Not all of us, but the majority.
Yes, the majority.
The majority
It's always
is
accepted.
like me. I got to get me. You know what I'm saying? So.
And you do got to get you.
Yeah.
But we really should have that responsibility to feel like we got to bring others up behind us, especially our children and our grandchildren.
Right. I agree. Take a shot.
Brother, I have the sip. I can't shot. Whew. Oh, wow. I have the sip. I can't shot.
That's not a bad idea.
But man,
But that's that grown man right there.
yeah, that's for real.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm gonna feel it though.
Yeah, you gonna feel it. Whether you sipping it or shoot it, you gonna feel it. It's gonna walk you down. But man, I had prepared myself a little bit before I even called you. You know what I'm saying? Because I know this is the topic that I wanted to hit on. Just a little bit of politics. I didn't want to go crazy
Right.
because I actually do still work for the government.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? So
Understand.
I'm guarded. I can think what I wanna.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I cut this camera off, I'm gonna say what I wanna. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But now I'm just gonna do a lot of this.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I do want you to speak your mind because I know that you're on it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no doubt. Well, a lot of it is political,
It is.
but it's not politics for me.
Okay.
You know, for me, I'm always thinking about, and it's something that I'm waking up to the fact that I'm weird this way
Okay.
because I'm an oddball. You know what I mean? But I'm always thinking about black people, our situation,
Right.
our position, our direction, and you know, it's for me it's a philosophical thing. It's like, what's up with our values? You know, I was raised in a holiness Pentecostal church, you know what I mean? And people sinned, but you wasn't proud about your sin.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's
Right.
like, you know, when you really break it down and you start looking at these parties, one party advocates for stuff that I grew up believing was a sin and you're not supposed to do that. You know what I mean? And another party is like, look, you know, we about family values and all that, but we're not going to come to your door and beg you, Negro, to step up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other people want to step up. And if you don't want to step up, fine. Niggas are not, accountable and dependable. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that black people gonna have to come to terms with. Like, people are not gonna beg us at this point, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? At this point, the whole slavery issue, all that, bro, white people don't care about that no more.
Nah, not no more.
You know what I'm saying? These cats that are grown now, cats that I grew up with,
Right.
they ain't own no slaves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They was busy trying to get food to eat, trying to get light bills paid, like we were.
That's right.
You know, a lot of people that I grew up with, man, white kids, I used to like serve their mom or something. You know what I mean? So black people are so powerful, dog, that we created a culture in this country that white people jumped on, especially the working class white people. You know what I'm saying? And for us to walk around with our chip on our shoulder talking about racism while we rubbing elbows with white people who ain't got what even some of us got.
Right.
It's a
True.
pointless mission.
That's true.
And our leaders, our political leaders, need us to stay fixated
Yeah.
on that racist issue.
Yeah.
And it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Racism is real. It happened to us.
Yeah.
But like Jews don't run around screaming about the Holocaust and all that. They just teach their kids what they need to know
Right.
at home and train them so that they have that value. You know what I mean? And we're not really teaching our kids what they need to know about what happened to us as a people in this country.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead, it's something that people are walking around with their pants hanging off their ass, or, you know what I'm saying, the bonnet that the girls wear in the store, you know what I'm saying, with their pajama pants on, and then the minute
And
that
house
something-
shoes.
you know what I'm saying? Then the minute that something happened, it's because somebody's racist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cheap. That's real cheap based on what our ancestors went through to get us to this point where we can have anything we want, where we can jump on a podcast and say anything we want.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like your political philosophy is off kilter when you're validating stuff that you grew up knowing was not right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that you base in that validation, your validation is your vote. The only thing that you basing that on is that these people who asking you for your support mention racism.
Yeah.
They mention it. They don't do shit about it.
Right.
They mention it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's enough for you to validate all the evil that they're trying to get you to sign on to. And I know a lot of people don't want to associate it with evil, because if you accept that what they're asking you to do is evil, then you have to take a look at yourself and what you're doing.
Right.
And then you know, like, man, I'm doing some evil shit too. And a lot of people don't want to validate that, so they keep it in the racial thing where it's real cheap and easy. Because you just happen to have this color skin, you can say, I'm voting for these people because this person is a racist. Yeah. It's a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of hogwash, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm trying to temper my language here.
You don't have to.
And I think that
You don't have to.
we cheapen ourselves, dog, and we cheapen the future of our kids when we run with that, because our kids now are getting ready to climb onto the bullshit that we feeding them about racism, and they got to come up and compete with all these other people that then came into the U.S., whether they walked across the border or whether they came legally. They here and they ready to do business. They ready to compete. And you know, a kid that's 12 years old right now, in 10 years will be what, 22?
Right.
You think anybody they talk to is gonna be interested in them talking about, man, I'm black and that's why they doing that to me? Bro, come on. We gotta do different, man. We gotta do different. This is a time of change and transition. You know, you don't gotta love Trump.
Right.
You know what I mean? Trump is gonna be out of office in 4 years.
Yeah.
But if we were smart, you know what I'm saying, we would be organized enough to push out our issues, because Trump is a transactional person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, if you do this for me, I'll do that for you. And I have to be honest, the man kept his word on a lot of stuff. He pardoned a lot of people.
He did that.
You know what I'm saying? That was just basically rappers that was like, hey, I'll say I'll vote for you if you pardon me, and he did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we gotta strategize differently. Now, the question for me that I struggle with, and I've struggled with it for a while, is, are black people capable of that type of self accountability?
If they can get likes on IG, they can.
You know what I mean? So I don't know then. You know what I mean? Because everybody can't be famous. And you got a lot of niggas that want to be famous.
If it don't add up in likes,
Right.
it probably won't happen.
Right.
Because the sad part is, man, attention is the new drug.
For sure.
Yeah, so
I agree with that.
yeah, so everybody's addicted to attention. You know.
I mean, I appreciate being able to talk about this. I find it fascinating, the situation that we're in. But I also have to be honest and say to the person watching that, I doubt if niggas will shape up. You know what I mean? And I used to never want to admit that.
Right.
But based on what I'm looking at, and maybe I'm looking at it wrong because, hey, I'm not well traveled.
Right.
I mean, you was in Rome. I never been there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't know what it's like across the globe, and not even across the whole United States.
Right.
But I don't see a lot of evidence that black people are ready to really seriously turn a corner to the point where people will always consider us, because we are a part of the United States, the fabric of this country.
Right.
So we're our story is too good not to refer to.
Right.
You know what I mean? But people will refer to us, and we still won't benefit because we're not prepped and ready to go with our agenda. You know what I mean? Homosexuals, transgenders, they prepped and ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they're organized as hell.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
organized,
saying?
bro.
Even the illegals
Yeah.
are prepped and ready to go.
Yeah.
But we not prepped and ready to go. You know what I mean? We just prepped and ready to party.
Yeah. Too comfortable.
Yeah.
It's easier just to complain
Yeah.
than to do something.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can complain all day like this right here.
Right.
That don't mean shit.
It's real easy,
You know what I'm
isn't
saying? Then because once you put the phone down, the complaint over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And I have to say, I don't even know what I expect niggas to do. I guess I just expect for niggas to wise up, man, and vote differently. And I just wish that, you know how it was back in the days when everybody at one point, from my studies, they signed on to the NAACP at one time. It was just like, if you was a black person, you was in the NAACP because those certain set of, you know, accomplishments that they wanted to reach, you was down for that.
Right.
I wish that black people just had something that we was going by, that we could just say, look, it don't matter if you're a Baptist or you're a Muslim or you don't really believe in God. This is good for our community.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're gonna go by this. But, you know, it is what it is, bro. I hate to unfold my emotions in it, but I guess this is the place for that.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? But it's just like, because like sometimes I feel like I'm talking around in circles, you know what I mean? I don't want to make my life and my conversation with you all about politics and how black people gonna do, because one thing about it is the ball gonna keep rolling whether we rolling or not. You know what I mean?
That's right.
The ball is gonna keep going.
If you're not moving, it's gonna roll over you.
You know what
You know what I'm saying? And then you still just complaining.
People gonna make decisions about our future,
Yeah.
whether we a part of it or not.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You welcome to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you welcome to be there
You're welcome to be there, but
and play the part we carved out for you here.
right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Stay in this lane right here. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what you're used to.
It's a shame that a lot of our leaders are hurting us to do just that. You know what I mean?
Stay in this lane right here where you can fuss, but that's all I want you to do. Just fuss. Don't fuss too much, But you can voice your opinion and then sit your black ass down. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
And we need to do better than that.
Yeah,
We
we
need
do.
to do better than that. I guess I would just suggest to any individual that hears this that might trigger a thought, about their political leanings or, find out where your values are.
Right.
Then find out what these political people, you know what I'm saying, are going for, what their initiatives are. And then make your choices based on that. And really take the time out to do it, because I'm telling you, the last election and the next 4 elections, 3 to 4 elections, is going to matter so much more than we ever, like back when we was voting for Clinton and all that. Those were elections, dog, but they didn't matter that much. America is going this direction or that direction. Either men are men or men can be women.
Yeah.
These are the type of choices that we're making right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So these are serious decisions. Don't be fooled just because somebody got a funny hairstyle. You know what I'm saying? And they seem to be orange. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fooled by that. Don't make your choices on that.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
That's right. That's right. But again, even though we are discussing politics, it's still revolving around mental health,
For sure.
because a lot of people are struggling with the state. Hold on. What's the word? They're struggling with the state we are in as a country, I should say. So it is mental. You know what I'm saying? It is, and I like what you're saying. Pretty much, instead of talking about it, do something.
Yeah, do something. I mean, even if you're just doing your own research. Because if you just come in and listen to the news channels that we used to flicking through,
Right.
you will have some mental issues, some mental changes based on what they're telling you.
Yeah.
So it's best for you to try to go out, do something, even if it's just finding out your own information and what really went down and what really was said, and matching that up with the goals for yourself and your family. Because mentally, I worry about the future.
Yeah.
I worry about where the country is going. I'm worried about, the kind of life that my daughter's going to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all these things are, mental issues and mental initiatives and mental things that I care about. But, it's all about how you live your life day by day and the things that you feel like you can do in the spirit of your own responsibility.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think if you can feel good about what you're doing in your own sphere, then you can go to sleep with a clear mind, or at least a little bit less stressed.
Right.
Because, ultimately, God is in control.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? We just
Absolutely.
got to do our part and let him handle the rest.
Right.
And he's handling it through us. He's handling it through other people.
Right.
But, you do your part. I mean, what else can you really do?
That's right.
You know what I mean? What else can you really do?
And if you are praying, and I hope you are, God don't need your help. If you praying for him to do something,
Amen on that.
let him do it. Most people have a problem. They pray, but then they figure God not moving fast enough to let me help.
Yeah.
And all you do is make the situation worse. So just, if you're praying about it, just wait around. You'll get your answer. He will say something to you. Now, I did want to talk about the politics. I did. That was the whole point of me having you here. But I do have to get back to this question.
Yes, sir.
How is your mental health? Without the politics, how is your mental health?
I'm gonna be
Politics
honest with
aside.
you, man.
Yeah.
I have to be honest with you. You know me, dog. You probably could have to agree. I mean, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something's wrong. I mean, look, I don't feel like I'm autistic, maybe bipolar.
Okay.
I'm a black man, so I haven't been diagnosed. But I have extreme lows, man. And I don't have too many extreme highs.
Right.
I worry a lot. I always feel real inferior a lot. You know what I'm saying? Almost like a phony. I was watching a movie one time, and the guy is some people, they was going to be superheroes or something, and a girl just got on the superhero team, and he turned to her and he said, I know in the beginning it kind of feels like you're a phony. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know, sometimes I just feel like I'm not really a good dad or a dad. I'm just pretending to be one. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I grew up in a time where you just didn't have all these outlets to fall back on. You just had to buck up and keep going.
That's it.
So the voices that I hear in my head, I mean, I hate to say this on camera, man, but it's the truth. If I could smoke in here, I'd probably be smoking.
Yeah.
But like I'm just coping with marijuana, bro.
Yeah.
I smoke like
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg probably will be
Yeah.
like, this nigga smoke too much. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm
Yeah.
dealing with it, bro. It's like
So that's your coping mechanism.
that's my coping mechanism. I wish I had another one.
Right.
But you know, when I'm asked by my lady, you know what I'm saying, um, when she asks me like, well, what else would make you, I'd be like, feel better about, you know, the stuff that you feel bad about. I'd be like, shit, success.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I'll probably still be smoking,
Yeah.
but I was like, success would make me feel like not smoking maybe so much.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I feel like I'm lacking success.
Okay, when you say success, do you mean monetary?
That too.
So
But we know that monetary is like it's the key to open the doors to everything else. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but it also opened too many doors.
Yeah, I agree with
So you end up allowing some other shit to come in because it's because you got so much access now.
This is true.
Yeah, so it's, money isn't always a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
I
Especially
totally
the
agree.
love of it.
I totally agree. I
Yeah.
guess if I'm really trying to be more detailed, it's just you know, with me it's like there's access to money because
Right.
I work.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I'm okay with money.
Yeah.
I mean, we all could be better. Sometimes
Absolutely.
I'm buying stuff that I shouldn't have.
Right. Guilty.
But you know, we
Yeah.
all could be better. But look, I realize that there's no plan B. You know what I mean? I am the plan B
Right.
and the plan A and C.
Right.
So I got to keep my money up. So I do that, but I don't feel like I made good decisions in my past that allow me to create situations where I'm gonna have a legacy, and these are situations that are intertwined with financial.
Right.
These are big money situations. You know what I'm saying? I want legacy. I want to not just work. You know what I'm saying? And not just have a side hustle that pays off and everything is okay. I want to do something that is going to go on.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I'm not here, or maybe something that I could actually sit back and be like, now I have the opportunity to do some things that I just really want to do because I want to do them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everything I was talking about with politics and spreading the message that you have to think different. You know what I'm saying? At some point, at some time,
Right.
I would love to spread that message, but you know, unless you find people that's gonna sponsor you to spread that message,
Right.
you have to do it yourself.
Right.
And it's like that's sideline money. That's not
Right.
that's not money to take care of everyday things. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be in a position where I can do stuff that I feel like where I'm manifesting, you know, my spirit out into the atmosphere. You know what I mean? And I feel like, and I guess I don't know where that comes from, but I guess if I'm really digging deep, because I'm just basically putting money in the bank in case anything happens.
Right.
I feel like, what is this life? You know, you just gonna work, put your little money away so that you can pay your bills. It feels good to be able to pay bills. You know, I had a fire recently.
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
When that came through, I mean, I felt so good that I was able to be like, I just can go get this bread and get in someplace else
Right.
and repurchase all the shit I lost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Family came through. I can't not say that
Yeah.
family wasn't like, yo, let me look out.
Right.
But I mean, everything was replaceable and replaced.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, I still wake up every day, bro, just feeling like, man, what are you doing with yourself, bro? You're like over 50 years old.
Right.
You're not married.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have a string of kids,
Right.
and you have not raised them really well to feel like you're this great father figure. You know, what is your fucking life, bro? So I struggle with feeling like, yo, you really ain't shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing that you is that you're responsible for yourself, because you can always look around and there are grown niggas that are not responsible for themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, I'm dealing with that, bro. I'm dealing with that like constantly. And because I'm alone so much, because I'm a driver,
Yeah.
you got these thoughts just rolling around in your head constantly.
All day,
You know
man.
what I mean?
Yeah, all day.
So my mental health is a little screwed, to be honest. You know what I mean? But I'm thankful that I can sit here and have a decent conversation with you about these topics. Because, you know, hey, I'm blessed that I can articulate myself, I guess. But other than that, man, I mean, like, damn, bro, when is shit gonna pop? Like, it's always like looking at myself, though. Like, when is shit gonna pop? Nigga, if it's gonna pop, it's because you're gonna do something.
Right.
So it's not a question. It's an action. What action are you going to take? Then I feel inferior because like, well, I'm dumb because I don't know what action to take.
Right.
I wasn't smart enough to educate myself at a time when school was there for me to be like, no, this is what you need to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you don't mind, let me say something. You know you're not dumb, bro.
But you
Yeah. You know you're not dumb, Dwayne. You are smart as hell, bro.
Look, I appreciate you saying that.
No, I mean I know because I've been knowing you all my life. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, we all have made some dumb decisions.
Yes, very.
But it doesn't mean that you're dumb. It just I think your focus is a little off.
Maybe people don't want to say shit plain to people.
Yeah.
But I wish somebody would just be like, let me pull you to the side and say some shit that's gonna hurt your feelings.
Yeah. And I'm not even trying to hurt your feelings.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I think your focus is off. You know what I'm saying? I think your focus is too broad.
It's too broad.
Yeah. You need to streamline it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to be great at these many things, just be good at this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then map this out. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I knew what this was.
Yeah. But see, that's something that's the part you gotta figure out. And I'm gonna tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the blunt.
Oh, wow. Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's not in the blunt.
Right.
Yeah, the blunt is just to stay here, bro. Stay
Right.
calm. You know what I'm saying? Stay chill. It's not in the blunt. You know what I'm saying? If you don't already have the money, the blunt not gonna help you find it. I'm telling you the truth, man. The blunt wants you to sit your ass down and just be chill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not knocking marijuana. Don't get it wrong. I'm not. But I'm just saying. And then you also said that you smoke enough to where Snoop will be like, damn, nigga.
I am I'm a choo-choo train.
Yeah, so that might be what's hindering your focus because you're so relaxed and you
Right.
chill. You know what I'm saying? The drive only come when the weed.
Well, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And maybe
my
I feel like I got drive, but maybe what I got is not drive. Maybe I feel like it's drive, but it's really more just constant thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's true too, but at least you're aware of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know that you want to be and need to be in a different situation. You know that part. You know what I'm saying? It's just putting your foot to the pavement and making it happen. Now I'm not saying don't smoke.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but I'm saying whenever the smoke cloud dissipates, you should be right here going toward what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And even if you don't take but 1 or 2 steps, take them, then hit that thing.
Okay.
You feel me?
I want to lay something out for you.
I'm
You
all
can
ears.
give me your opinion on it, right? And you can say, well, Wayne, that's really a cop-out.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I have to look at what I know,
Right.
right? And what I'm trying to express to you is that, like, for instance,
Right.
we grew up painters.
Right.
You took painting and made it do what it do.
Right.
Right? Why can't Wayne take painting and make it do what it do? Now, I made painting do what it need to do.
Right.
But I see that there's an avenue, there's a level of painting, there's a level of money,
Right.
there's a level of success that even though you really didn't grow up love painting, if you manage it right, you can make some money and go up because money open doors, right? Now, this is where you may say, nah, it's a cop-out, right? Because painting is not a one-man sport. It's not a one-man activity, right? So I'm trying to deal with people that I feel like, yo, we can be successful, but I need you to do your part.
Right.
And I have not been able to find these people. So I feel like, I'm not successful in something that I actually have a hand in or a route in, whatever the phrase is that I'm looking for. Something that I got my fingers in, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why not take what you already dealing with and make that successful? But it can't be successful the way I need it to be because the niggas is just not gonna do what they need to do.
Right.
Is that a cop out on my part? Because I'm like, yo, like I'm to a point where I'm like, yo, how can I make this do what it do? I can't do everything by myself. I have to be able to put these people in a place to make them work, but these niggas don't want to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They don't want to work.
So am I copping out? Because to me, when I start thinking about what I should do, what I should focus on, like you say, Painting is what I've been doing,
Right.
what I know, like what my dad handed me down. Now I have a job,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But it's a job,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So what? I'm gonna jump out, start a business doing something else because I don't know business doing anything else. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You just need to tighten up what you're already doing because you already have the foundation. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you're not pushing far enough for it to really catch and take off.
Right.
Because like you said, your dad taught me how to paint.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So painting was for both of us.
Right.
But man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I used to be so disappointed that I was just painting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I always felt like, because we came from bullshit with nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, I know it's more. I always had I know it's more.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's more. You know what I'm saying? So, and I can honestly say, God pushed me a lot too. You know what I'm saying? Because I would settle, and then God would be like, no, that's not what you asked for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take this from you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the more He took from me, it just made me keep going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I had so many people depending on me. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have a father.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And my goal was my children, my family would never go through what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that just gave me a different hunger. You know what I mean? So maybe welcome to another episode of Indicate with Coach. Again, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you really dealing with what we talk about, if you like what we bring it to you, please share it. Thanks for laying around with us. Not maybe, because you have the talent. You know what I'm saying? But one person, you by yourself would never make the money you want to make before your body break down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you need to attach yourself to something that's more work. I mean, it's more money but less work.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I could be honest. Someone had to open the door for me. Somebody gonna have to open the door for you.
Right.
You know, cause it's a million painters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But somebody got to open a bigger door for you.
Right.
And I had a really good friend that was working for the university at the time, and I did work for him, and you did work for him too at his house.
Mm-hmm.
But he opened the door for me at a university. Granted, it was bullshit at first.
Right.
I was just painting ragged ass rails all over the college.
I got you.
But I said, I'm gonna do this. And I said, cause sooner or later, he gonna ask me to come paint one of these offices. Then I got him.
Right.
So after about 6 to 8 months of just ragged ass rails, he asked me one time. He said, "Am, can you paint an office?" I said, "An office?" I said, "Yeah, I can paint an office." He said, "We need it done in 3 days." I said, "One office?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Our painters take 3 days." I said, "Yeah, I can get it done." So we was done. I painted off by myself in 2 hours.
Right.
So when I called him and said, "Man, I'm done," he said, "You done with what?" I said, "I'm done with the office." He said, "Today?" I said, "Yeah, how long you thought it's one office? How long?" Ever since that, it just like the opportunity came,
Right.
and I exceeded the expectations. So
Right.
he said 3 days, one office, I painted in 2 hours.
Man.
So when that door opened, it went from one office to, can you do these several?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And then word of mouth is a great advertisement, especially on the university. Because what I learned is everybody that hires you at a university is trying to make themselves look good.
Oh, for sure.
So if you make them look good, you stay busy.
For sure.
So once I learned that, you know what I'm saying? Because when I started, I was killing myself doing it all myself.
Right.
But as the jobs grew, you know what I'm saying, I would hire people just trying them. Then I figured out how much to pay a person to keep them motivated. You know what I'm saying? Because the same money motivate the worker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So once I figured that little part out, because I used to paint for a company, so I didn't know that stuff.
I understand.
Yeah, and the company, Clyde Nettles, you know what I'm saying? I painted my way up to where I was doing estimates. I was supervising and running jobs, and I used to sit in there and I was looking at how much they would charge for what we doing, and I'd be like, "What the hell?"
Right.
I'm looking at $300 for one door.
Right.
So I'm looking at how much they charge it, and I'm thinking, I'm doing the work, you know what I'm saying? And I'm
Right.
making a fraction of that, you know? So it made me want more. And I say all that to say this, you got to drive, You just got to put yourself in a situation. You just need a door open for you. If painting is still what you want to do,
So
yeah,
yes and no.
yeah. See,
I want to be successful.
yeah. See,
You know what I mean?
that's too general. that that's too broad.
I realize
You want to be successful in what?
I realize that painting is lucrative.
It is.
I have a passion for doing good work,
Right.
no matter what I'm doing.
Right.
So if painting is lucrative, then I'll do it with a passion.
Right.
You know what I mean? But other than that, is it my passion?
Right.
No, I would love to get paid to teach black people that, we got to think different if we want to be effective in the next century.
Right.
You know what I mean? And media is how you do that.
It is.
So what would I love to do?
Yeah.
This is what I would love to do.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm thinking about realistic local situations, trying to build capital for me to retire off of, and also for me to build out and take care of the people that I'm responsible for. So painting is lucrative. So yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
But driving is lucrative as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I hate to say it, but, it's not like, oh, I just want to be the best painter I can be.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just want to be successful and be lucrative so that I can follow my passions, because my passions might not really pay off so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as we get older, cousin, I'll be honest with you, like, saving Negroes is not my first ambition anymore.
Right.
Like, I really, really was passionate about that, you know what I'm saying? But when you start looking at your own mortality, and I'm over 50 years old, like, our time is limited here now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to build out, individually. And when I say individually, like me, myself, the people I'm responsible for, my legacy, I'm trying to build out like that. And I can do that in any form of fashion, whether it's driving up and down the road, I could paint. I'm saying there's some other things that I would love to do that are not coming to mind right now. But like, hey, if I had a store, bro, I'd be happy with a store.
Yeah.
I just want to be successful. You know what I'm saying? What does that make you think? I'm curious.
Well, just sitting talking to you just now, you gave me 3 things.
But they all lead to the one point, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, they don't.
They don't?
All of them lead separately. But you hold it all, you trying to make all 3 of them add to one thing.
Right.
And it's not, because every one of them is going to take you to another avenue.
Right.
So you're trying to hold on to all 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you holding on to a piece of all 3. Mm-hmm. But those pieces aren't going to make you successful.
Okay, let me say this too, because I was saying it's not coming to mind right now. My big thing has been acquire some real estate.
Right.
Acquire some real estate where you can be like a landlord.
Right.
Like, and I'm fashioning after my pop.
Right.
You know what I mean? So really, it's like, to me, when I really look at life, like, what are you going to try to put together to be a successful individual?
Right.
You're going to have to work. You're going to have to paint. And you need to try to acquire some property, because, they're not making any more land right now.
And you already know you got to change how you said that.
What?
You don't need to try. You need to go ahead and acquire some land.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you always saying try, all you going to do is try.
Try.
Yeah. So you got to hypnotize yourself. I'm gonna buy some land this year.
Right.
And just keep saying it.
Right.
And then unconsciously, you will make yourself focus on what I need to do to buy this land.
Right.
Because when I got a 3-year plan, it started the first of the year. I got a 3-year plan, and I'm behind schedule, but not because I'm not trying. It's just because of what I'm trying to get. It's a hold on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got a 3-year plan on what I'm trying to do. On what I'm doing. That's gonna be my end game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm focused to where I'm, and the devil is trying to make me go out and buy a bunch of material shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna go get it and don't even use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no. I need to stay focused and do this, because I have a 3-year plan.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make it manifest. And I'm not gonna talk about it, because in my last podcast, I talked about what I learned on IG from a dude that said 12 things a man should do. The first thing he said was, if you planning to do this and be successful in that, he said the first thing you need to do, shut the fuck up and just do the work.
Right.
And he said, if you do the work, you don't have to talk.
I feel you.
Because people see it.
I feel you on that.
So that one stuck. You know what I mean? So that one stuck. But just listening to you, Dwayne, I heard three different avenues you're going in. Mm-hmm. You got 3 different lanes. You need to find out which one will get you to your goal. Because trying to do all 3, it's going to be too much. You need to find out which one is going to get you to your goal. And that's the one you need to jump into full, because you don't want to drive the rest of your life. You don't
Right.
want to paint the rest of your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what was the third one is I
Real
want to
estate. Real estate.
real estate. That's the biggest investment a person makes.
Right.
So if you dabbling in strictly real estate, then you are dabbling in the biggest money payoff that is out there,
Right.
whether it's commercial or residential.
Right. It's commercial. Well, not commercial. Commercial. I want to buy a place, live in it, have a tenant.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I've been striving for a minute, and I'm trying to line that up. I'm going to line that
There
up.
you go.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So I really am going to try to hypnotize myself, because driving is a necessity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not something that I do because, oh, I'm passionate. You know, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
It pays the bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and painting is like, I'm just disappointed that I haven't been able to make painting into what I know it could be.
Right.
And like, once again, you know, I hate to sound like a cop out, but I have to say it's because I just don't have any niggas to work with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've told you in the past, I got a Spanish crew that still do work for me.
Right.
But even though there's barriers there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And it's not the same. I wanted to build something,
Right.
you know, and have my name and my thing on it. When I'm turning to people to do the work, it's just a transaction at that point.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey guys, y'all do this. I know you're capable of it. I'm gonna slap my money on top, and
Right.
everybody can walk away with something.
Right.
But when you're doing work yourself, it's your brand.
It's your brand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a little different, but this real estate thing, I think, is the future.
It
You
is.
know what I mean?
It is.
And I think it's a way for somebody who has a time limit. If you understand what I'm saying.
do.
And when I say a time limit, I'm talking about for my body.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm trying to set up income like that, or I'm going to set up income like that. But yeah, you know, I mean, I want to be successful. You know what I mean? It's like you say, attention is the new drug.
Yeah.
I don't really want the attention, so to
Yeah.
speak, but I do want to be significant.
Right.
I want to make significant changes.
Right.
And it's depressing that I've made decisions in my past where I feel like I'm not going to be able to make the significant changes that I want to make.
Right.
Because, you know, now I'm trying to survive.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of creating and manifesting. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And when I say trying to survive, I don't ever want to give you or anybody else the idea that I'm like, hey, I got a sign. Can you give me a couple dollars?
Yeah.
I mean, life is actually good.
Yeah.
Life is so good that I do a lot of shit I shouldn't.
Yeah. And
know what I
that's a
mean?
drug too.
You know what I mean?
It is. That's a drug.
But, you know, thank God that I have a great family.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That has a lot of respect and support and love for me. So,
Right.
you know, I've been blessed in those categories, and I'm trying to be positive about that. But definitely, dog, I tell you, if I went to a doctor, he'd probably medicate me because I'm depressed a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's and it's because you constantly worrying about what's the next move,
Yeah.
what's the next. Which, don't get me wrong, I do too. I do too. The only thing that helps me is I try to streamline it. I try to make it okay. I don't want to worry about all this. I'm just gonna focus on this.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? So what do I need to do to make this happen? Because if you start working toward making that happen, the worry lessens.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the world gonna give you everything else, but at least this worry, I'm going toward this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned to just. First of all, I'm truly thankful, and I'm thankful for the blessings, man, because I do paint,
Mm-hmm.
but I always know I wanted to be more than a painter.
For sure.
So I turned it into now I'm a general contractor.
For sure.
So now painting is the last part, but we're gonna build all this, you know what I'm saying, remodel all of this,
Build it out.
and then at the end we're gonna paint it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's that growth. You know what I'm saying? And I can't do the work, but I have the license, and I'm able, and I know people that I can hire to do the work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's still your name.
Yes.
So I can't just say, go do this. You know, no, I'm there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm there, and I'm checking and I'm asking questions, because if I can't do it today, I'm gonna watch you while you do it. Now I can do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So when I hire somebody else, if I don't use you, I know how long it should take and
Right.
and what's gonna happen.
Right.
So I'm constantly learning, and my goal is to be able not my goal. What's gonna happen in the next 2-3 years? I'm just gonna pull up to what's going on in the truck and let the window down, and I'm gonna say, everything all right? That's my goal.
I feel you so much.
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen, Dwight.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. I got a 3-year plan.
I mean, I was in a small arena with that with the Latinos that I had painting for me.
Yeah.
There was a part of it that felt good to just stop by
Yeah.
and be like, "Is everything going good?
Yeah.
Do I need to get something for you guys? Y'all got everything y'all
Yeah.
need?" I mean, there was something good about that. You know what I mean?
It's a great
But it was
feeling.
a shame that I could not do that with a black man. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna just share this nugget, and I hate this black people, man. And it might be Mexicans too, but they speak in Spanish, so I can't understand what they're
Right.
saying. You know what I'm saying? But black people, they count your money. You know, because I've had one say, "Man, you doing all this right here?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, how much you charge for that? I said, "See, that's the problem.
Right.
You worry about how much I charge, but you working for me.
Right. Worry about how much you get
Yeah,
paid.
worry about how much I'm gonna pay you to do this.
Right.
That should be your question. So because you worried about how much I'm gonna make, now you can't work as hard as you normally would.
Right.
Not knowing if you work hard, I'm gonna pay you for what you worth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But black people good at that, boy.
Oh, great. at
Now they'll go off and work for a white dude till they got foam in his mouth.
that. Right.
But you don't want to work for me because we the same color.
No questions. No questions about money. Just really want to show you how dedicated and how hard I work.
Work till they got
You know
foam,
what I'm saying?
like they got rabies, bro.
It's a shame, bro.
Yeah,
Not just white people either.
any other race.
Any other race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to work for me. But I'm the one steady calling you every week to come work, but you don't want to work for me
Yeah.
because you see where I'm. Anyway, that's material. Because as long as I'm providing the opportunity for you to eat, just eat.
Eat.
You know what I'm saying?
Eat.
That's all it is. And I play fair.
And put yourself in a situation where when you eating, you can feel good about being greedy and eating. You know,
Yeah.
like, nigga, I know I did good. I did it the way you want it done. I'm trying to, as I'm moving and making it happen, I'm trying to make sure you don't have to come back and be like, we got to fix this. So
Right.
when you pay me, I feel good about taking this money. I know I earned it. You know what I mean?
They're right.
But it's just not prevalent.
Black people something else, boy.
It's sad though. It really it hurt me to my heart, really.
They're rather bitching, not all, but the ones I know.
Yeah, I mean,
It's easier to just bitch and complain.
It's far and few between where you find
Yeah.
another African American brother that's
Yeah.
like, yo, I got that ethic and I'm about that business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so sad.
And let me tell you something else I had to learn too. You can't, people you working with, you could be friendly,
Right.
but you can't be a friend. Yeah,
You're right.
because then they gonna stop working. Because
Yeah.
I saw what you did the other night, you know what I'm saying, when I was hanging with you.
Right.
So ain't no way in hell you gonna make me, you know. So no. And you remember we was at a job at the university and you were like, well, he worked for you, but he don't do shit for me.
Right.
I said, because you hang with him.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? We not hanging.
Right.
Yeah, this strictly work and owner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the
Right.
truth. You can't friend them.
I just have to be really clear that I didn't like hang out with Larry because we didn't do the same shit. But I was really friendly with him.
Right.
I had too friendly.
Yeah.
I definitely had a friend vibe going on.
Right.
Instead of a worker employee vibe
Right.
going on. So I feel you on that. But believe me, we can't hang out like that.
No,
what I
because
mean?
y'all on different roads.
right.
Yeah,
Well, like, I threw a couple things and invited him. So he felt like, hey, you know, but I got you.
yeah.
So it's all good. And you're right, bro. You got to keep that posture.
You have to.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Because niggas will try you all the way up to the edge of the rope, bro. They gonna try you.
So
They gonna try.
It really, like I say, it seriously hurts my heart. I mean, you hear me talking about black political philosophy and all this shit.
Yeah.
It hurt my heart to see the opportunity that's right in front of us that we don't take advantage of.
Right.
You know what I mean? On so many different levels.
And just to clarify, not black people. I'm talking about niggas. It's a difference. I'm just clarifying it. It's a difference.
It's a huge difference.
Huge difference.
But I know that anybody that lay their eyes on us, no matter what race you are, you know some niggas.
Yeah. You know some niggas.
Some crackers. You know some niggas, boy, I tell you.
You know some niggas now, for real. Niggas like roaches, bro. They there. There's more of them.
And they gonna be there.
They gonna
You
be
know what
there.
I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, man, I mean, that's why you just gotta rise above. You gotta rise above, and you gotta realize. And it's hard to say this because I'm never trying to like be more than what I am, but I'm different, bro. Like I was raised different. You know, my ethic is different. You're different,
Right.
and you know you got to recognize that about yourself as you move and navigate through society,
Right.
because it puts you on a different plane
Right.
than it does from other people.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's really I don't want to say difficult, but I can't not notice the fact that when I run into people that I'm a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean I'm a black man with a Trump hat on.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely a little different. But
it's
it's all
all-
good. You know, if
it's
you sit here talking to me, you see it's all good. with
It's
me.
all right to be different, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all right.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? That's what separates us. Everybody's a little different. You know, it's okay.
Nothing but love.
Nothing but love, bro.
Nothing
You
but
already know,
love.
man. You already know. Dwayne, man, I appreciate you coming through tonight, man.
I appreciate being here.
This was fun. Just talking, man, is, you know what I'm saying?
I wanted to say this, and I
Go
said
ahead.
it real quick
Go ahead.
before
No,
we
you
go,
good.
but
Go ahead.
you should do a topic on marriage and family,
Mm-hmm.
because you know when you was talking, I was thinking about being able to focus. Having a good mate will allow you to focus. I guess for me, like since I'm single, I have to try to. I feel like I got to do it all. I can't just home in on one thing because you know who's gonna take care of this if I'm not. So having a good mate means a lot because it allows you to be able to take on certain things and focus on them. You know what I'm saying? When you got a better half. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe I just need to get married.
Hey, this is what
Like,
this
that's
is
another
things.
show, nigga.
This is a whole nother topic. Yeah, this is a 2-hour talk. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no doubt. But, you know, it really made me think about it because, you know, having a good mate, man, I would assume, like, I work for an Indian guy.
Right.
And, like, a lot of stuff in life, I see that he's not, I'm like, bro, I got to do this, I got to do that. You know, like, I'm going to need this time off. And he has to remind himself, like, these niggas don't got wives.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I work with a lot of grown black dudes that got kids and families, but no wives. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he has his wife do a lot of stuff that he don't even have to worry about.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know you are
Yeah.
married as well. So
So it does help when it comes to field versus office.
right,
You know what I'm saying? It does help. I can honestly say that it does help because sometimes I'm really too tired from being in the field to do paperwork.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So, but I am trying to be more involved in the paperwork part of it too.
totally understand
Yeah,
that.
because I actually want her to grow her own brand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm truly thankful for everything she's done for me.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But I
And
want
that's
her
a two-way street now.
right. I want her to grow her own brand.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to be more proactive, and instead of asking, I'm gonna just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna just do it. But the part I need to work on is creating a paper trail, because I'm more okay. You say you're gonna do it. Let me see. Okay, it's being done, and I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? But I need to work on creating a paper trail. But I am trying because I want to be self-sufficient the way I'm like.
Totally understand.
Yeah, that's so. I'm working toward that route.
Totally understand.
But I also understand exactly what you said, because it took that to get me to where I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
That's something I struggle with.
Yeah.
Also, man, whenever you get ready to have an event, please let me know. I want to be there.
I will.
You know what I'm
Working on
saying?
something
I'm
now.
looking forward to in the cave event. You know.
Yes, sir.
So just keep me posted, bro. I'm
It's
looking
coming.
for something to
It's
happen.
coming, man. I'm actually focused on like I'm not just everywhere now. I'm 100% focused on making this Indie Cave something, a household name.
That's what's up.
So I'm working that part.
That's what's up.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you
Congratulations.
coming
Thank
through,
you, man. No doubt. I
Nothing
appreciate you having me.
Again, thank y'all for holding.
Oh, my bad, bro.
That's all right. You good? Thank y'all for sitting in with us, man. This is my cousin Dwayne. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking. We talked about a little bit of everything today, man. But that's all the conversation is. You know what I'm saying? Two grown men just having a conversation, but it still revolved around mental health, because everything we talked about today has something to do with your mental health.
No doubt, man. Thank you again for letting me come through.
No doubt. Much
All right,
love,
man.
man. Y'all lay around for the next episode. Peace.